Death Spiral, the only anime podcast that disproves the existence of your puny god. Nate, what you sipping on?
Oh, I am taking a liking to these shilling hard ciders. And that's not a play on words. I'm not shilling for them. It's the brand. It's the name of the brand.
God's sake, please don't do ads for free. We're struggling so hard.
Just bleep it all out. Just bleep out the brand name. It's a sour cider.
How serendipitous, Nate, because I am also sipping on a sour.
Oh, yeah?
Let me tell you about my sour. Ask me what I'm sipping on.
Hey, what do you say? Hey, Remy! Hey, Remy! What you sipping on?
I'm sipping on a fruited sour. It's a tart ale with strawberry, lemon, and natural flavor overtones by the Great Notion Brewing and Barrel House in Portland, Oregon.
Hey, what did we just say? What did we just say about this?
Great Notion. Doing good work. You know how hard it is to find a good sour these days? What with the tyranny and fascism of the IPA wave? It's hard. It's hard out here for a sour fan.
You know what? I feel like there are enough of us out and open today in this modern world. IPAs are gross, and I'm not afraid to say it anymore. IPAs suck. Everyone should stop drinking them. They're literally like the worst type of beer.
I don't think that's a controversial take. I think if you ask any IPA fan, they will tell you that yes, IPAs are gross. That's part of their appeal. It's pervert shit.
Okay, all right. Well, when you put it that way, it's hard to argue with, you know.
Yeah. Why else would they taste like that?
Why else would you make it taste like this if you were not intending to suffer?
Yeah.
Like, it seems so obvious to me. The contract is baked in right into it.
If you could make a beer that has ale characteristics but tastes like tart cherries, why would you make something that tastes like grass and dirt? Why would you do that? Other than you are a weird pervert. There is no other explanation.
Oh, man.
Oh, let me tell you, the other brewery, I got two of these things. The other one, it's kind of a...
Oh, he's double fisting.
I am. It's, well, my traditional, obviously this is my trifecta, being water, Red Bull, and a sour ale.
The Holy Trinity.
Yes. The other one I got is sort of a tart plum with a Belgian ale base. And let me tell you, I don't know if you've ever tried the Duchess. It's a little hard to find, but it is my favorite beer. And this is essentially...
buddy, my friend, my compatriot, my partner here, I am all about the Duchess.
The Duchess is the best.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hands down. That's the shit.
Love me that Belgian shit.
Yeah. You remember back when we were just suckling pigs and we would go out and buy Blue Moon, and that was the craze at the time, was like weird wheat beers like that.
Well, there was Blue Moon if you were on a budget. There was the apricot ale. I remember was pretty popular for a while. You remember that one?
Oh yeah, what was that? I do kind of remember.
That was
one.
from Pyramid Brewing.
The Pyramid Apricot. That's right. Yes.
Yeah. It was like an apricot wheat ale. There was the 21st Amendment Brewery out of San Francisco. They had a bunch of kind of weird novelty beers. The one that I remember off the top of my head that stuck with me was they had like a watermelon flavored beer. You remember that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was kind of gross.
It was absolutely disgusking. But, you know, I was 21. I was just allowed to buy alcohol for myself for the first time, legally.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, fucking Uncle Sam. Never did me no favors.
He's goddamn nanny state bullshit.
But I remember that was on sale at the old anime convention that I was at. And I was determined to get trashed.
Yes.
The absolute cheapest shit that I could buy.
Anime conventions. To me, that means finding whatever alcohol you can pound as quickly as possible. The rest I can't remember for some reason.
Well, it probably had something to do with that camelback full of Jägermeister you were carrying around.
Do you think so? Do you think that might have had something to do
Yeah,
with it?
it could have been a contributing factor. We cannot rule it out at this point.
I will say, having a camelback full of exotic liqueur makes you a lot of friends at an anime
You cannot
convention.
sit here and call Jägermeister exotic liqueur. Not even ironically. I will not let that stand.
Come on. It is.
No.
It is. It's nice.
It's
nice.
the opposite
It's
of
German.
nice. To like Jägermeister is to hate everything that is good.
Do you think Jaeger bombs are like out of the public consciousness now? Or are they still like frat boy things?
Well, ever since the tragic Jägermeister brewery bombing, I don't think people are calling them that anymore. Out of respect.
Oh, yeah. Like how you can't say Irish car bomb when you're in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah. They find that distasteful.
I mean, that's real though. Don't do that. They
shouldn't
they
do
will
that.
fuck up your shit.
They will be very upset. Besides sipping on, Nate, have you been watching on anything? Perhaps with your sour cider in hand?
Well, with my Schilling Hard Cider Citrus Maximus in hand, I did happen to scroll my eyes across something that may have counted as anime, I think. What I did was take your suggestion. Now, if you'll remember on last week's episode, I was downtrodden, heartbroken by subjecting myself to what can only be described as the worst Gyaru comic of all time, Gal
Yes.
Cleaning. And you suggested, as a palate cleanser, maybe to get my groove back, as it were, to go check out a little comic called Super Baby.
Yes, I did kind of shoot that out into the universe, but I'm glad you in particular took my advice because, well, as you discovered, and I'm sure there is no argument that you can brook here, it is very good.
It is good. It is really good.
That's right.
I was
Correct.
just reading it.
You're
And in
correct.
fact, right before we started recording this episode, I was trying to think of something like, I should think about one other thing to talk about today. And I remembered Super Baby, so I started reading it. I got through like the first 6 chapters or so, which,
Okay.
first thing, I guess I did not realize that it is either on indefinite hiatus or has been canceled at this point, unfortunately.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes.
So I just want to throw that out there. I'm about to endorse something that does not have a lot of investment, or actually, no, will make you invest way too much into it before it's abruptly put on the back burner. So there's that warning.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, but I really liked it. It's absolutely, and I don't mean this condescendingly. I think it's adorable. In the sense that, like so many other Gyaru comics, or unlike them, it does not have this weird, not even weird, just like the omnipresent male gaze that is just kind of in all of manga, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Hey, do you ever notice that? Do you think it's weird? You think it's weird that that manga's a little bit creepy towards girls? You ever notice that?
What's the deal with sexualizing gyarus? I mean, come on. What are we doing here?
But yeah, that's what it's something that I found really refreshing about this. It's like I noticed it right off the bat. I'm not saying it's perfect. Okay, but
Okay.
but it is much more metered in that regard to sexualizing the main character and kind of giving us like perv shots every other page, which is pretty much the strategy du jour for all the other ones, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're bearing the lead here, which is that it's about the experience of being an adult woman who self-identifies as a gyaru in a
Yes.
specific time of gyaru, right? because she specifically mentions many times, like, she feels like her era of Gyaru is beginning to pass.
And they kind of illustrate this in the very first chapter when she's leaving her hometown to go to Tokyo. And in her words, be like, conquer Tokyo as the Gyaru queen.
Yes.
and we get this shot of her, and it's a very dated image. Not even something that I would identify as like modern Gyaru trends, so to say. I would say it's more like, are you familiar with the term like Ganguro?
Yes.
Or Kurogal?
Yes.
Where like heavy makeup, high contrast eyeshadow, big flamboyant bleach blonde hair, lots of accessories.
Yep.
And that's the first shot, and then we kind of get this time skip. And we see her a few years later, and her style has become much more mellowed out, kind of a bit more modern, while still embodying what most would consider the classic Gyaru identifiers, which is, blonde hair, tan skin, big nails, big eyelashes. And that's just because that's the way that she likes to look, and I totally respect that. And I do like that, like you said, it is about the experience of living that lifestyle. Because we do see her subjected to like the constant onslaught of people's stares and murmurs.
Yeah.
And like just being generally uncomfortable with her presence most of the time.
Yes. That is like, this is, I mean, you're talking about these Gyarus week after week, but this is by far my favorite Gyaru because this is a complete 180 in perspective. This is about a tale about a woman's experience of being this subculture, right? And the struggles that come from like self-identifying as something that is usually half sexualized and half, I don't know, discriminated against.
Well, you know what
right?
It reminds me of is there was this push in like the late 90s or late 80s, early 90s of doing that exact same like treatment to the goth image, right?
Yeah.
You had all of these after school specials and episodes about how like the goth kid isn't some weird Satanist murderer. He just likes to dress in black, or she just likes to, wear a lot of eyeliner or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what we're kind of doing here with this one. And so what I meant when I said that it wasn't perfect is that,
how dare you?
I know, but I have to be,
motherfucker.
I have to stand up for what I believe in.
Oh, for once, huh?
Yeah, for once.
This is the one time you stand up for what you believe in. Okay, fine.
Listen,
all right.
If you can say one thing about my character on this show, it's that I believe in Gyarus, okay?
All right, do your shit talking. I'll take a break.
No, it's not
for a second.
it's the two things that I don't like is that they couldn't veer away from making her a ditz. Right? Because it seems that, and maybe this is touched on later, because there's still chapters I haven't read, but she does come off as genuinely airheaded and unaware of like social situations, as opposed to maybe that would be more of an act she's putting on to play into the character of her outward presentation. That's one thing that I was like, okay, I mean, you don't have to have her literally be childlike all the time. That's just a minor complaint. The other one is that I don't buy, and this plays into the first point, I don't buy her attraction to the male lead.
Sure.
Because so far the main thrust of the plot is that she works at a clothing brand store, an outlet that's above a convenience store.
Yeah.
And one day a bird gets tangled in her hair, and the guy, one of the guys that works at the convenience store down below comes and saves her from the bird. and then she instantly develops like an obsessive crush on him to the point where all of her friends are saying like, hey, you're acting like a creepy stalker. You're going to get him in trouble at work. And she's just like, what? Oh, I guess. Yeah. I totally didn't mean it that way though. And then she does kind of like force herself into this guy's life by, again, stalking him, going and watching him work at his job every day.
Yep.
To the point that his managers do complain to him about it.
That does happen.
I'm not sure exactly what they're going for with that, but he seems to be into it now, so I guess that worked out.
Yeah. I think it's the idea. I think, yes, I do believe there is parts where it is playing into the Gyaru stereotype. I think that is on purpose. I will defend that because the show isn't interesting unless I oppose you and your petty opinions.
That says so much about you and your thought processes. Like, that's not how I approach our relationship. I just want to put that out there.
Wow. So you leave me to do all the heavy lifting. Yeah,
I genuinely
totally
like you and like talking to you. I'm just saying.
Well, I genuinely like Super Baby and the characteristic of the main character. Okay.
Oh, he's so afraid. He's so afraid of confronting his emotions.
Part of making her sort of the stereotypical Gyaru in that way is contrasting it with the other parts where it is bringing us into the Gyaru experience, right? Mm-hmm. If she comes across as somebody who is just a normal person who is putting on Gyaru face, right? Then it defeats the purpose.
I don't think you should call it that.
Okay, well, she does call it that. It defeats the purpose of creating like an empathetic path that forms like the backbone of this story and the thing that makes it actually interesting, which is that the author is bringing us into the world of a Gyaru, so it has to be some level of recognizable stereotypes because this is, again, a work of fiction, right? Which is a collection of like symbological signifiers. Symbological signifiers?
Symbological
signifiers. So, like the sequence where we follow in excruciating detail her entire morning makeup routine.
I love that, by the way.
Yes, I love that. I love that moment because that is bringing us in on a technical, fundamental level of what begins her process of becoming who she sees herself as, right? And I see no difference between this and like the fucking death metal head putting on his corpse paint, right? To go to a show.
No, it's the exact same thing. That's why I brought up the goth thing earlier.
It is exactly the same thing.
And you know, we talked to a friend of ours who lives in Japan a little bit about this, and it plays into that thing. They all of these subcultures, these like outwardly presenting focused subcultures, it's all about essentially expressing some kind of individuality in what can be described as somewhat oppressive overcultures, right?
Yes, it's about trying to create a transgressive individualism within a culture that is oppressively conformist.
Yes.
That is exactly it.
And saying, you know, I understand what society says I need to be and look like and do as a woman or as a person in any society.
Yeah.
And I am going to not do that specifically as a point to show that I don't have to do it.
Exactly. And this is one of the things that rubs me so wrong in so many other manga. And it's not just because I am, of course, the number one male feminist. I am a great ally. I'm not like the other guys. I am a feminist. But it's not just that. It's also because whenever these like dipshit basic bitch male leads in other like shonen anime or whatever are judging these girls for being Gyaru, they are fucking punk rock as hell. Like they are out here defying cultural norms, being cool as fuck, despite everyone like you little bitch baby, like judging them for it. They are living authentically, even though it like brings them nothing but trouble in most cases. And what are you doing? sitting in the back of the classroom, daydreaming about being a superhero. Fuck you.
Fuck that.
Fuck that.
One final point on Super Baby. I just want to say, amongst rom-coms, this is still rare, but I think is becoming increasingly prevalent. They both genuinely like each other with no pretense and like start dating right at the beginning. And so it is about their relationship. It's not about them getting into a relationship. It's not about them not being able to be in a relationship. It's about two very different people, who maybe some would say lead opposing lifestyles, coming together and what their lives look like. And I think that's great.
Amen.
I like it when people like each other.
Absolutely.
You know, it doesn't have to do the thing of like, oh, she's teasing him, she's bullying him. He's like this. I mean, he's still kind of like a crying man baby who can't handle social pressure. That's pretty bog standard. I can't get around that.
Yeah, he's a beta cuck.
Yeah. But you know, honestly, if you're into Gyaru romance comics, so are you.
Yeah. I do like him, though. I do like him. You know, that he is unashamedly into a woman who is aggressive. You know, I do think that's cool.
Well, I mean, that's just the base standard flavor of Gyaru comics is normal dude who is, at least according to Japan, inexplicably into the weird chick, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't do the thing where he like pretends he isn't.
Yeah, no, he's just straight up is like, hey, you said you loved me, and I think I love you too. And
I'm into that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's fucking do this shit.
Yeah, let's give it a shot. So
that fucking rules.
It is okay. So I guess I will give a little bit of hope to people. There are currently 28 chapters published in Japan of Super Baby. Only 13 have made it to an official English translation. That's 2 volumes so far. We don't know as of today. We don't know if they're going to translate a 3rd volume officially, but I think they are still somewhat slowly making chapters, so there's still hope.
I can only pray for their success, even though I predict their downfall.
Before we move on, we should plug the author. Who is this by? Okay. All right. Take 2. All right. Yeah, go check out Super Baby by Marugo Meimei.
Marugo Meimei.
Or,
big ups.
Or Marugo Meme, if you want to pronounce it that way.
Marugo Meme. You are our Gyaru of the week. Congrats.
Okay.
Now, let's move on to a more traditional anime bullshit.
Oh boy, what do you got?
I know, last episode I did say that was going to be the very last premiere of the season that I watched.
Oh my god.
Now I did somehow unfortunately watch another premiere from the 2024 summer anime season premieres.
All right, ongoing series, summer 2024. What do we got?
I didn't mean to. I swear to God, I really didn't mean to.
Are you going to blame this one on your watch partners too?
No, it wasn't their fault. They are completely blameless in this. It was, in fact, just pure boredom that led me down this rabbit hole. I watched the first episode of Wistoria, Wands and Swords.
Oh, the unproduced David Lynch script.
Yes, well, no longer unproduced. This is what gave him emphysema.
he was staying up, smoking way too much, drawing each frame by hand.
Okay, this show sucks. I cannot. I need to just lead this. Because
all right, okay. Do your spiel about Wistoria.
I can't even begin to pretend that there is anything worthwhile in Wistoria, Wand and Sword. Do you remember the last couple seasons we had a show running called Mashley, Magic and Muscles?
Some people will call that Mashal, but yes.
Well, they're wrong. It's Mashley.
Mm-hmm.
Mashal? That sounds so stupid. If you call it that, you're stupid, and I hate you. You're a bad person. And if you like this show, ditto. You are also a bad person. Because this is just Mashley if you took the concept deadly seriously. Hey, what if we made Mashley but no jokes?
I mean, that's like saying, hey, what if we made One Punch Man but no jokes? It's just about a guy, the most powerful guy.
It's worse than that because that is a thing. That's called Superman. This is like, what if you made Austin Powers with no jokes?
That's James Bond, though. Right?
James Bond has jokes, though. Yo, James Bond's got jokes. You watch that GoldenEye?
Not in a long time. Not in a long time.
It's pretty good.
That Pierce Brosnan, he was a looker back then. He was a looker.
He's still a looker.
Oh, yeah.
He's the definition of a silver fox. Damn, he's looking good.
With that mustache and the beard, yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah, frankly, I think he's a better Bond than like Sean Connery or.
Oh, do we want to rank Bonds right now?
You want to quickly run down a Bond ranking?
Yeah. Okay, first, I think Pierce Brosnan is my number one, followed by...
Man, there's been a lot of these guys.
Followed by Dalton. I'm going to put him number 2.
Okay.
And then Craig. Craig will get number 3.
Yeah.
Just because he looks good doing it. Those movies were pretty slick, even if they did kind of fall down at the end. And then...
That first one, man, that's a good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I'm going to say Connery. Connery number 4.
Wow.
And then who's...
Well, you've got the very famous Roger Moore movies, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the Roger Moore ones are where they really started veering into goofy territory, I got to say.
Well, he was... I mean, I think Roger Moore, people consider him to be kind of, maybe even like the canonical Bond, because he did so many of them. I think he did like 7 of the Bond movies.
Listen, I'm going for quality over quantity. That's what I'm saying. So sorry, Roger Moore. Let's have a little
Okay.
Roger less of you.
Okay, all right. Let me see. Okay, Roger Moore did Moonraker, Octopussy, A View to a Kill. Come on. The Spy Who Loved Me, which is the direct, Austin Powers reference, right?
Okay, all right, sure.
He did Golden Gun. He did Live and Let Die, which has that fucking the best Bond theme ever, maybe.
Okay, you know what? No, you've convinced me. I'm going to put Roger Moore. I'm going to put him in number 3. Craig gets bumped down to 4.
See, that makes more sense to me. I love the GoldenEye theme, but I think that's because of the N64 game. I think the nostalgia really gets in the way,
Mm-hmm.
That theme fucking rips.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Me putting Brosnan at number 1, the GoldenEye theme and the video game as a whole is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Oh no, it's doing most of the heavy lifting. I mean, the thing is, Pierce only did the 4 movies, and I think I only like 2 of them. He's batting 500, which is not great if you've only been at bat 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
But GoldenEye is an all-time classic, obviously.
Oh, for sure.
Tomorrow Never Dies.
Sean Bean at his Sean Beaniest.
Joe Don Baker was in that one. Famke Janssen before X-Men. Absolutely fucking killing it. Alan Cumming in one of the best fucking... Alan Cumming in one of the best Bond performances ever.
Oh, wait, we actually can't say coming and in next to each other. Judi Dench, the ever-present.
Yeah, I mean, that is fucking
come on.
incredible.
Robbie Coltrane, come on.
Yep.
Everybody loves
that.
Hagrid.
Was a good era. Yes, obviously, John Cleese played Q in that era of the Bond movies, which is, a good get. But we're getting a little off topic.
So anyway, that was Wistoria. Good talking about
Wistoria,
Yeah.
Wand and Sword. Hey, what do you think about magic schools?
I think that in 2024, magic schools are no longer woke. So I hate them.
Do you think magic schools were woke before?
It doesn't matter if they were woke before or not. They're definitely not they're definitely not woke now.
They're definitely not woke now. I will say, in the beginning, I guess I could see a case where they were woke.
Listen, I think magic schools for a long time represented kind of the ideal of a found family for people who may not fit in, people who feel a little bit different, right?
Found family. Mm-hmm. Found family is the non-horror trauma. I really hate found family. As a literary trope, don't cancel me for that. I think
tread carefully.
if we're gonna go down that road, wizard schools were woke at the beginning in the Ursula K. Le Guin era, and then Earthsea kind of slipped containment, and wizard schools became more literal. And
they quite literally became schools for wizards.
They literally became just wizard schools with no allegory at all. Ursula K. Le Guin's death grip on wizarding schools failed catastrophically, leading directly, obviously, to the real-life witch tyrant who ruined most of our childhoods, in retrospect.
She who shall not be named.
She who shall not be named. The queen of turfs herself, just doing wizarding schools as its own genre. And then wizarding schools, obviously she unwoked them.
Yeah, no, she de-wokified them.
Yeah, she de-wokified them. And then in the process of de-wokification, as with all de-wokified products, it trickled into anime.
Why can't we stop corrupting what is pure?
We need to somehow prevent the de-wokified fictional tropes from leaking in to the westernized subgenres of anime. As fantasy became a dominant mode in anime, transitioning from our traditional fantasy in Japanese fictional products being stuff like, Shintoism, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Lots of battling yokai, lots of Shinto priests, lots of talismans, right? Esoteric techniques. That was sort of what the fantasy that we grew up with. Obviously, there were examples like the ones, we always go back to, right? Lodos War.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Slayer, right? Slayers.
Oh, yeah. Slayer, big. Actually, I personally never watched Slayer. Maybe that's one I should go back and revisit sometime.
I don't know. Did you like Dragon Half?
I did like Dragon Half, actually.
Yeah, I bet you did. Fucking pervert.
Oh, boy. Okay. You know what?
But
it was the style at the time.
But that obviously the balance has been broken down. We are now out of balance. Western fantasy style has superseded Shintoism and even sort of the more kind of like Chinese mysticism that showed up a lot in early anime, right?
Sure, I was thinking more in those terms. I was thinking more like Fushigi Yugi, stuff like that. Early Dragon Ball, where it's all kind of heavily influenced by Eastern myth.
Yeah, Journey to the West.
Yeah, which is like, come on, get a new story, guys. You keep doing that one. Like, get a new one, get a new bit.
Yeah, but they say that about Lord of the Rings over here.
Well, I mean, I would say that specifically to Peter Jackson about Lord of the Rings. Get a new bit, dude.
He did. He's doing Beatles documentaries, right?
And then they pulled him back for the Hobbit movies. And now you hear he's going to produce this goddamn Gollum spin-off movie. You hear that?
No.
Yeah.
He's not doing that.
Yeah, he's producing it.
He is? Oh.
New Line Cinema.
Wow. The Lord of the Rings is his personal ring.
He can't get rid of it. It's just this unholy albatross weighing down his soul.
Yeah, it's corrupted him completely. He'll never make a horror movie again.
I'm imagining him sitting on a beach in New Zealand, just being like, yeah, it's a living, like one of those dinosaurs from Flintstones.
It's a living. I can't do the accent.
Oh, it's a living.
It's a living. I can't do it at all.
Yeah, no, I can't do it.
I see him enviously peeking out of the bushes at Sam Raimi's career, you know? And now that Sam Raimi is being sucked back into the Marvel machine, he's going like, yes.
Oh man, okay.
Join us.
What Marvel property do you think they're gonna tap Peter Jackson for? Because it's an eventuality at this point. It's gonna happen.
No, because I mean he's part of the WB machine, so he'll probably end up making one of the DC movies, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case,
he's on the other side of the street.
I don't know. Who would be a good DC fit for Peter Jackson?
Who even would be a DC character that they can do now? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Well, I mean, it's the Suicide Squad show. That's all DC is at this point. They're going full in on the James Gunn-verse.
The James Gunniverse.
Yeah. He's gunning for it.
I could see him. So his whole thing is high fantasy, right? That's what he's been working on the last, I don't know, 25 years. Jesus Christ.
Peter Jackson?
Yeah, so
I don't. Well, okay, you say that, and it's true, but I don't think he's done it by choice. As we establish, he can't get away from Lord of the Rings, and those Hobbit movies were pieces of shit anyway.
Yeah, I know. I did not like those movies. Even though Jeeves was in them, it made me sad.
Oh, it makes me so sad.
Yeah, but
although he's kind of a weird guy, I hear.
He's a bit of a weird dude. He always was.
Yeah.
Him and House.
Yeah.
Weird dudes.
Weird dudes together.
Yeah, but like, is there a DC property that has like fantasy stuff? I'm trying to think of one now.
Well, back to Pierce Brosnan, they had him in that The Rock starring as Black Adam movie. He was playing the DC version of Doctor Strange. I can't remember his name.
Mr. Weird.
Something like that.
Professor Odd.
Yeah. I don't know. He was he has fantasy ties. He has like a whole like ancient Egyptian past thing that he's working with. Maybe Jackson could do something with that. In the most perfect of worlds, in my heart of heart, I want Peter Jackson to maybe take a couple of years off, come back to the scene with a mid-budget horror movie released only in New Zealand, and go from there. Because, man, Brain Dead, or Dead Alive, as you Yanks know it as.
Dead Alive.
Man, that's
how I call it.
That's probably the best zombie movie, one of the best zombie movies out there.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I love that movie.
What about Della Morte, Dell'Amore?
I'd put it up there. They're all together. Like that, Dead Alive, and Return of the Living Dead. All three of those absolute great zombie movies. I'm gonna be generous and throw 28 Days Later in there too. That's the cream of the crop.
What about Night of the Living Dead? That's the best one.
It's the original one.
Oh God!
It's not the best one. Come on, dude.
I can't. No, come on, man. That one is the best one. It's the fucking beginning and end of the zombie statement. He said it all. Romero was like, "Here's what zombies are. Here's what zombie stories are about. Here's how they conclude. I'm done with this." And then he kind of got
fucking mic drop, walk off the stage.
Yeah, man.
Everyone's silent.
He did a fucking triple backflip slam dunk with his first fucking zombie movie. And then people have just been like sucking at the teat for 40, 50 years now. Fucking to the point where we have dipshits like, what's his name, Little Rat Boy, remaking Day of the Dead or whatever into his horrible...
Oh, you talking about Snyder?
Yeah, Snyder's Ayn Randian take, like literally the philosophically and politically opposite version.
What if... Okay, and hear me out. What if Dawn of the Dead, they were still trapped in a mall, but it was awesome? Like, malls are cool.
And also, people are bad, and it's awesome to want to kill people. Like, it's cool as hell.
We have, like, this cool scene where they're like, they're having a zombie killing contest on the roof with this other guy, and they're just, like, going, like, right into the crowd, and heads are exploding, and there's guts everywhere. Oh,
fuck,
man.
That fucking rules, dude. And you know what? Chicks just hold you back, you know? Hey, I want to live. And you're like, nah, bro. I'm not about that life. I'm about the crossbow life, man.
The crossbow life, hell yeah.
I'm about that crossbow life, man. And then Darabont comes along 10 years later, and he's like, you know what? I am about that crossbow life. Wistoria, wand
Yeah,
and
Wistoria,
sword.
hey, wow. So stay away. Don't watch it. It sounds like
Wand
crap.
and sword. Wow. So, hey, you know what's crazy? What if Harry Potter couldn't cast magic?
Yeah.
What would he do?
I assume that he would probably, I don't know, punch people.
Okay, but what if he was kind of weak?
Well, you would punch people, and then it wouldn't do anything, and then you would get kind of strong at some point, and then it would do something.
Well, let me tell you, there's a small hint in the title of the show as to what he would do. Can you figure it out?
Well, would he get a sword?
Yeah, he gets a fucking sword, dog. It's wand and sword. Everybody in the world thinks wands are cool. He's the only guy in the world that's like, swords are cool.
Okay.
And everybody's like, swords aren't cool. And he's like, I am Harry Potter's sword man. I will prove to the world that swords are cool because my crush is the best magic user in the world. And the only way I can, like, date her is if I be valedictorian of Hogwarts using just a sword.
Yeah, it sounds lame. I don't like that. That sounds boring. Sounds like it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks. It's incredibly bad and boring.
Now maybe if he somehow learned to employ the sword as a wand, there's an angle. His sword is a wand.
Yeah, you know, I've been playing Elden Ring. I've got the sword that turns into a wand.
Hell yeah,
I got the wand sword. It casts spells and it stabs. It's a stabber that casts spells.
That would blow this guy's tiny fucking mind. He wouldn't know what to fucking do.
I think that would actually make the societal structure of this anime collapse, like, permanently. If a guy found a sword that casts spells. Like,
they would create a law against it. They would say, you can't do that, bro.
It would be like the Enlightenment happened. Like, it would be like a cultural and scientific revolution in this fucking anime. No one would be able to deal with it. You know, there's undertones here where, like, part of the whole thing is that there's, like, a society that's built on magic supremacy. And this kid's like, I'm out here to defeat magical supremacy. But again, that's just Mashley.
Yeah. That's Mashley, and
that's what Mashley
the reason
was about.
Mashley works that way is because the other big magical school property everyone's familiar with, that it's riffing on, does absolutely nothing to address its overtly magical supremacist society.
Yes, Harry Potter is in fact pro-magical supremacy.
Yeah, no, it says, like, yeah, no, it's actually good. It's good that we're an isolationist, elitist society.
Yeah. And to be fair, that's not just Harry Potter. I mean, a lot of fantasy accidentally falls ass backwards into saying shit like magic is supremacy shit. Like, that's the whole point. Mm-hmm. It's just that Harry Potter kind of codifies it in a way that, like, most other fantasy series doesn't. And again, that kind of thing leaking into anime, completely unexamined, just gets absorbed up into, like, the cultural milieu and gets reproduced by accident. And that's what's happened here, is a culture being like, well, if you can't do magic, you're essentially trash. And one kid going, I'm going to prove that wrong, but it's going to be because I am, like, literally superhuman, and I'm, like, just better than people. And kind of a weird message. Weird message to send.
Yeah, wizards suck. Superheroes rule.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's saying.
Yeah. It's weird. It also cuts a very strange contrast with the big show this season, right? The Elusive Samurai.
The biggest.
Because the main character of Wistoria Wand and Sword, after doing the entire sob story of I'm just a regular guy who doesn't have magic powers, and that's why I'm oppressed, I'm part of the oppressed underclass, it turns out that actually he's like a freak of nature who has insane dex stats, and he can like run at sub-supersonic speeds, and he can like dodge bullets and shit, and that's why he's better than magic?
Yeah, that's like saying that Goku is better than magic because he's not technically a wizard. Same thing.
Yeah, I just really don't like that at all.
Yeah, it kind of takes away from the message when you're saying like, yeah, superhuman supremacy is wrong, and it is oppressing me, a person who is superhuman in a different way and does not have the limitations of a regular human.
Yeah, and I'm even better than them.
Yeah.
And that's why I should
You know
have,
what it comes off as? It comes
social
off as
status.
not that supremacy is bad. It's coming off as I should be the one who is a supremacist. We should be in charge.
It's exactly that. It is exactly that. It's so wild. Again, hey, guys, I know it's become like a tired trope, a tired meme to be like, hey, media literacy is dead. It's dead, and people don't know how to read stories, which, you know, I don't really 100% agree with. But, like, when you look at shit like this, it's like even the people writing this shit do not spend a single second thinking about the implications of their words.
No.
You will regret your words and deeds if you write a story like Wistoria, Wands and Swords.
To be fair, they probably had a deadline to meet and hadn't eaten in several days.
Well, it definitely does feel like one of these fucking packages put together by a producer who's like, I just need this concept to be turned into a thing, and I can sell
Get me
it.
1,000 chimps with 1,000 typewriters.
Yeah.
They'll cook up something.
Just fucking wild. I just, oh, God. It just makes me very mad. And this isn't like a great looking show either, but it's not bad. And, you know, one of my big regrets this season, and I said it before, was that the show I was excited about, right? Quality Assurance in Another World, ended up looking pretty plain.
Not too great, huh?
Yeah. I mean, not terrible, but like not good enough for how good I think that story is. And then to see like this getting like a budget, it's just crushing.
Yeah.
I know this has happened to me every single season since we started this show, but this one hurts.
At this point, you should expect it. It's just part of the game, dude. To like anime, to keep up with anime, is to kill yourself little by little every season, every episode.
Oh, fuck. Okay. Yeah, I really can't complain about this show anymore. It's already making me sad.
Let's take a break.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a break.
Center our chi.
Okay, people, obviously you tune into an anime podcast to hear all the hottest anime goss, all the freshest news. And of course, yes, we are going to talk about the biggest thing happening in anime, the Dan to Dan and Ranma 1/2 leaks. But I figured first off, what we would do is talk about some 40-year-old anime. Now, Nate, I did recently watch the City Hunter live action movie. I'm sure I mentioned it to you before.
Yeah. I think in passing you brought it up.
Yes.
Now I'm not super familiar with City Hunter. I know it's kind of one of those pillars of an older generation of anime. Some that I'm sure those of you who have many medical conditions and a list of medications that you have to take are probably nostalgic for.
You know, you're the kind of person who has a side hobby of ripping laser discs.
Let me put it this way. If you have an extensive knowledge of beta cassette players, you probably know what City Hunter is.
If you do a lot of maintenance on your personal Plex server, you've probably watched City Hunter.
If you've ever woken up and said, wow, that didn't hurt yesterday, you know what City Hunter is.
City Hunter, the City Hunter himself, the titular City Hunter.
Now,
he's basically...
I can't find it that hard to believe that it's like that difficult to hunt cities. They're fairly large. They're in fact land masses. They're kind of hard to miss.
I see your confusion.
Yeah.
I understand why you would think that. But he is, of course, a city type hunter.
Oh,
like how there is ground type Pokemon.
I see.
He is not in fact a country hunter.
He's not a lake hunter.
He's not a lake hunter.
He's not a svelte hunter.
He's not a desert hunter. He's not a grasslands hunter.
No.
He is a city hunter.
Okay.
He prowls the urban landscape in search of his prey, which tends to be weird guys who are kidnapping beautiful ladies.
All right. Well, I mean,
yeah.
It happens. You gotta have guys that'll hunt those dudes down in a city, or in any kind of environment, really.
I mean, it is an epidemic.
Yeah.
Beautiful ladies are getting kidnapped out here all the time.
I can't walk to the store without getting propositioned for a kidnapping.
Propositioned. Yeah, they're asking you to join up.
Yeah.
Hey, you look like a creep.
Come on.
I mean, people basically post like, hey, this beautiful lady in particular, I kind of want to see her again. Can somebody save her? And he goes around and he looks at these like cork boards around the various cities he's employed in. And he goes, she's pretty beautiful. I could see myself rescuing her. And he goes out and he rescues her. Usually there's some kind of like, subplot involving, I don't know, kind of a cyberpunk dystopic element, like, a super drug that turns people into like Bane-like superhumans.
Okay, sure,
who do super crimes using their newfound super strength. They just pry the doors off of safety deposit boxes, etc., etc.
Sure.
By injecting usually some kind of blue or green liquid directly into their necks.
Mm-hmm. Those are the most aesthetically pleasing colors to make a drug that you inject.
Yes.
That you like want to visibly inject in front of people. They're real eye catchers.
Yeah, like a clear liquid is too nondescript. Red just looks like blood.
Mm-hmm. If you see someone pump themselves full of like turquoise goo, get the hell out of there. You're not about to have a good time.
Yeah, shit is about to go down. That is a bad scene.
They're either going to grow muscles or claws or tentacles or turn into a giant monster or split apart and turn into several smaller monsters that chase you around.
Sometimes they just explode.
Sometimes they just explode and get all over you.
Yeah. And the goo is usually toxic in some way as well. It's sort of an AoE attack.
Yeah. Not a fun time.
No.
Stay away from it.
Yeah. This is sort of what newer authors and illustrators bring to a very classic setup. You look at the Dashiell Hammett stories, of the 20s and 30s, and you go, these are beautifully constructed, like very tight sort of, noir thrillers. It's very difficult to imagine how we could update this with something that would work in a modern setting. Oh, you know what? Goo.
Goo works. I like goo.
Goo works.
Yeah.
Goo slots right in.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Yeah.
You get a promotion. You're head writer now.
I had a good feeling about Goo.
You're the Goo guy.
I had a good feeling about Goo. You know what? I wrote Goo on my Trapper Keeper in high school.
My vision board at home.
The Secret. I had it in my The Secret. And it's finally all coming together. And it's going to be me. I'm going to be writing City Hunter. And he's basically like, what if Philip Marlowe was like a dumb asshole who was constantly trying to like sexually harass every woman who like casually strolled into his peripheral vision.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a thread here and see if you follow me. Were you ever familiar as a child, or maybe as a man-child, I don't know, with the Batman cartoon spinoff, Batman Beyond?
I mean, yes, I didn't, dabble in Batman Beyond too much beyond, like the surface level,
Sure.
Obviously, I was one of the horrible 90s children that latched onto Batman, the animated series.
No, sure.
That
because of Harley Quinn.
It could have been. I can't tell you now.
Yeah, could have been.
I can't tell you
Could
now.
have been.
It's been too long. But it could have been. Once we moved past the animated series, I did kind of fall off. There were other shows that I just found more interesting. But I did like the Batman Beyond aesthetic. I've always been sort of a dystopia, like a cyberpunk dystopia kind of guy.
Yeah.
It's always been part of my interests.
And what I'm getting at is I'm very confident in saying that if we were to go back and revisit that, specifically looking through the lens of cultural reference, there would be multiple direct references to like City Hunter and Acura and Bubblegum Crisis in there, right?
Oh, sure. Cutie Hunty.
Don't call it that, dude.
Cutie Honey.
Cutie Honey.
Cutie
Hunter.
Cat's Eye. Cutie Hunter. City Hunter could be just called Cutie Hunter. I mean, I was not joking. That is what it's about. It's literally just that. Yeah, I mean, it's all the kind of thing. You take Lupin and you just transpose him across genres,
Sure. Well, the Playboy action hero is a transcendental archetype in media, right?
Yes, and where over here we were kind of dabbling, we were in the Schwarzenegger-sance, obviously, so we had a very particular kind of action hero. In the late 80s, early 90s. We were dealing with our Schwarzeneggers, our Stallones.
The macho, the extra macho era.
It was a macho era. If you were looking for someone who was a little more Lupin-like, you might have cast like a Bruce Willis, who was kind of a quick talking, smarmy, sarcastic guy.
Well,
but
people were dubious at his casting for Die Hard because they're like, Bruce Willis, the TV comedian, that guy.
Yes.
Guess what? He took off his shirt and everything was okay.
Yeah, and he is fine. He's great. He does the thing that they hired him to do, and he's really good at it. But he was not much of like a pervert. You know what I mean?
Well, no, he was a divorcee. Like, that was very explicit.
Yeah, he was a sad sack divorcee.
He was
an ex-wife guy.
A put upon dad type.
Yeah. R.I.P. Alan Rickman. But what I'm saying is we didn't really have quite the kind of Lupin character trope archetype in the West. I'm really struggling to think of like even one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think James Bond would be the closest equivalent, right?
Yeah, but he wasn't like a horny freak,
Okay, well then, I guess that leaves us with Austin Powers.
Yeah,
Austin Powers is Western Lupin.
You know what? Austin Powers is Western Lupin, and he is Western City Hunter.
All right, can I talk about some retro anime that I happened upon?
Oh, are you cutting me off?
Well, do you have more to say about City Hunter?
Yes, I was just going to talk about the live action movie.
Oh, right, duh. We got kind of sidetracked there.
I watched the live action movie, the adaptation, in our very, let's say, molasses-like long-running series in watching all the live-action anime adaptations, right?
Yes. Yeah, that is, I wouldn't call it so much as a series as maybe like a vague goal, an ideal that we aspire to.
An ideal, yeah. Now, I'm sure you know that City Hunter was, of course, also a Jackie Chan movie from the 90s.
Oh, okay.
You were, of course, aware of that.
I knew, I had intimate knowledge of that, of course.
It's not the most well-known Jackie Chan movie, but I think people will remember the scene where Jackie Chan portrays all the characters from the video game Street Fighter. I think pretty much everyone has seen that scene on YouTube or something.
Yes.
Are you aware of this?
I do remember that. That is a classic YouTube of ages past that I remember.
Yes, I think everybody has seen this. Jackie Chan as Chun-Li has kind of made its way into the cultural imaginary.
Well, it's an image worth keeping around in the in the culture's eye.
It's weird that it exists, you know? Nevertheless, the new live action version does not have any kind of Street Fighter references in it. It plays it a lot more straight. It's very weird. It's very, very modern in the way it shoots action and the way it plays out an urban sci-fi action story.
What you're saying is that it's riffing on Marvel movies?
No. You know what? The action is way better than any of the recent Marvel movies I've seen. I have to say, the action direction is really good. I was
okay. Well, that's
consistently impressed with every time they had to do action choreography, especially because City Hunter's gimmick is that he is like a sharpshooter.
He's quick with a pistol.
Yes, absolutely. He is a sharpshooter, an incredible marksman. He is a fast draw. He's a quick draw. He can shoot any kind of gun, and he can do like trick shots and stuff. You know, he is incredible with it.
Okay. Does he got kicks?
Does he kick?
Does he got kicks?
Does he kick bullets? I mean, he's got nice shoes, but he doesn't kick bullets. Does he kick a gun? I don't think he kicks a gun. The thing about that is that shooting on film gunfights is very difficult to make look cool, which I know it sounds weird because like almost all action movies are just people shooting guns at each other now.
Well, I feel like John Wick has become its own subgenre of action style. Not realistic, but like tactical, you know, in an extremely choreographed segment meant to give off the look of like super fluid professionalism.
Exactly. Yes, which is an aesthetic I find to be very dull. The obsession with tactical and like spec op stuff in modern action movies really sucks because it's not about what's exciting to watch. It's about creating this like pseudo-realistic military cosplay shit, which I just hate.
As a fan of the Metal Gear series, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, I know. You are knee-deep in this shit right now. But what I find really refreshing is about this live-action City Hunter. It's the same thing I found refreshing about the Jigen Daisuke movie, in that they don't really give a shit about verisimilitude in their gunfighting. What they care about is, does it look cool?
Yeah. And I feel like what you're experiencing is the disconnect between that and the more modern Western style we were just talking about, where it probably comes off as a lack of impact to the motion or a lack of heaviness, right? Everything looks very airy, almost like wire fu-like. It's like how much of that is pure stylistic choice and how much of it is that Japanese filmmakers just don't really know how guns work or what they're supposed to look or feel like.
I think it's a perfect blend of both of those things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They help each other. They actually help each other when it comes to like making fun gunfights.
Like peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah. It's not the John Woo style, which was just how do you make somebody look cool while they shoot guns. Mm-hmm. It's like, how do you make gunplay itself look cool? And they do a really good job of it. And that's by far the best part of the movie. The worst part of the movie is everything that has to do with the anime, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
Every time the anime has to rear its ugly head in this movie, everything sucks again. Because this dude sucks. He just fucking sucks. He feels so anachronistic to, you know, modern action.
Well, again, hate to bring up Austin Powers, but same thing.
Yeah, but the joke was that he was anachronistic. That he was a time traveler.
And this time they're just playing it straight. It's like, okay, this guy's he's just a creepy, lecherous detective guy.
He's just an asshole.
And people are into that.
Yeah.
People like that in this world.
You like that?
They're good.
Yeah. And this really brings me to like what happens with people who try to go back and watch City Hunter, for example, this example, is that a lot of times they get really stymied by how anachronistic that stuff feels in the modern era. Sometimes it's not even the characteristics. Sometimes it's like when I'm trying to convince people who have never watched the original JoJo to watch JoJo. They straight up look at the animation style and go, that's old. I can't watch that. It's old.
Which is, I don't know. Again, maybe it's because of when we grew up and when we started watching anime, and it was like right around that turn from classic cell animation to digital animation. So we got both ends of it kind of pretty prominently in our memories. But it's like I have no idea why they wouldn't be able to watch old animation. It looks better most of the time, and I'm not trying to say that.
Not all of the time, though. Come on. I mean,
I was getting to that. I was about to amend myself. If you'd given me a chance.
Okay, I hear that a lot from people who are like, 80s and 90s supremacists.
For me, there is a certain charm with that specific flavor of 90s and 80s animation, of kind of like that hazy blue filter and the incredibly intricate animated machinery, stuff like that.
Yes, the Mamoru Oshii style.
Yes, that is my shit, and I like seeing weird cyberpunk dystopian cityscapes.
Yes.
Again, maybe that doesn't speak to a modern audience, but if that's true, then fuck them kids. They're wrong.
I would say, much like every time these kinds of arguments rear their ugly head, it is always a mixed bag. Always. We were talking earlier about like going back and watching some of the stuff from when we were younger, stuff like Trigun and Gundam Wing, and realizing, man, these, even though like we have a lot of affection for them, they are objectively not good to watch now.
I haven't given that treatment to Trigun, but we were just talking about Gundam Wing, and it's like, yeah, that one in particular is like, wow, this is actually kind of boring and doesn't need to be 72 episodes or whatever.
Yeah, not at all. Yeah. Not at all. It just drags.
It really does.
Yeah.
With wild character flops, like at seemingly random throughout the series. Everyone's switching sides for unclear, vague reasons.
Absolutely zero reason at all. Yeah, the thing is, I really like Trigun. I have a lot of affection for Trigun, and, not just because I think the character designs are incredibly good.
I mean, they go hard. They're really good.
They go really hard. But there is almost no animation in that series. What you remember are like the 2 or 3 scenes per episode that like actually like move. The rest of it is fucking slideshows.
Yeah.
Which is just really broke my heart when I went back to it.
What sucks is that the few scenes throughout the series that they do really pour effort into look amazing. The mid-series finale where he gets forced into blowing up that city with his angel arm.
Yeah.
I having to say that out loud, I don't like the name Angel Arm. That's dumb.
No, it's stupid.
It's really stupid.
It's very dumb.
That said, that animation of him blowing up the city looked really good.
Oh, it's great.
Same with the fight scene, the final fight scene with his brother.
Yeah.
That also looked pretty good. So they know when and where to do it. It's not great throughout, which is again pretty common for most of these shows back then. We just don't remember those parts for the most part.
Yeah, and this happened a lot with series. When we think about older anime, we're thinking about movies, right? We go like, oh, what's the older stuff? You know, Akira, Ghost in the Shell, right? But we're usually not thinking of like, I don't know, what's one that lots of people have a massive amount of affection for? Like Berserk 97.
Sure.
Everybody fucking loses their shit for Berserk 97, and I like Berserk 97, but I'm sorry, you guys, like a lot of it looks bad. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say this is more fresh in my mind, but the original Vampire Hunter D movie looks like shit. It looks really bad.
I like the way it looks.
I know. I
one.
like the way it looks too, but it's objectively bad animation for the most part.
Sure. Yeah, there's a lot of clunkers in there.
How did we get here from the City Hunter movie?
Because it's this stuff that is now we are being forced to reckon with their legacies, because these things are all being recreated in the modern era. You know, obviously, the Ranma 1/2 leak is really big. People are going to be watching that new Ranma, and they're going to be going like, "Why is this a thing? Why does this exist?" You watch the Yorosai Yatsura thing.
First thing, okay. First, you want to know what the first bit of discourse I have seen about the Ranma 1/2 remake is?
What?
Very first comment that I saw underneath where the post where I saw that it got leaked.
Yeah.
Someone saying, "This sucks now. They censored her nipples."
Whose nipples?
Ranma's.
Oh, what a loss.
Right?
What a loss to the world.
So
no.
that is the kind of people who remember Ranma that we're dealing with. That's like the built-in fan base, and then we're trying to appeal, this show to a new generation. Like you said, I'm not sure that it's going to hit in all the same ways. Although I could be wrong, because by all accounts, that Urusei Yatsura remake that just came out last season did really well enough for them to greenlight the Ranma one.
I mean, people love Ranma, and they love Urusei Yatsura, you know? I get it.
It is, and maybe we're looking at this from the wrong perspective as not Japanese people who don't have those series as like a much different cultural touchstone in their minds, right?
I kind of do. I mean, Ranma was one of the first anime that like I even owned physically. I had Ranma VHS tapes, you know?
Yeah. I remember. No, I'm saying more like maybe it was always a given that we were going to get the Ranma 1/2 greenlit, because they're not taking into account whether or not American people who are nostalgia want it or not. They don't give a shit.
Sure.
They just care about whether or not the Japanese market wants a Ranma 1/2 remake. And obviously they do, because they liked the Urusei Yatsura one. It did great domestically. People really liked it. And I guess people really like a weird pervert as the main character.
Hey, Ranma's not a weird pervert.
Kinda, a little bit. Grandpa. Wasn't the grandpa a weird pervert?
The grandpa is a weird pervert. I hate that guy. That guy sucks. But Ranma himself is not a weird pervert. In fact, he like is pretty sexless, to be honest. You know?
He's the pure mind of a hero.
I mean, he just wants to do martial arts. He like his whole thing is that like they want to marry him off, and he doesn't really want to do that. And then the kind of Chun-Li analog is constantly trying to get with him, and he's like way not into that at all. And then the dude who turns into a pig, there's some tension there. But Rama's not interested. He's not into it.
Okay, all right.
He just wants to punch. He's just a punchy boy.
Well, okay, I didn't mean to lump him in with the Urusei Yatsura guy, who is a weird pervert. That's like kind of his whole deal.
That's true.
His whole shtick is that he can't stop cheating on his human girlfriend.
Yeah, that dude sucks. That is a very bad dude.
But we are getting this kind of new wave of remakes coming out, right? Well, like we were just talking about the One Piece remake that got announced. That's going to come out in an amount of time from now.
Yep.
At some point. What else? What was the other one that?
Well, Kenshin, obviously you mentioned,
Yes.
had been just remade.
That was it. not only remade, but remade and continued. They're remaking it with the full intention of adapting the new current Hokkaido arc that guy is working on.
Oh, yeah. Which has happened, this happens every once in a while as well. Obviously the big controversy around Full Metal Alchemist, right? Mm-hmm. And Brotherhood, they remaking it and it being like the quote unquote the correct version. This happened with Hunter x Hunter as well. Dororo, the one I talked about a little while ago, is essentially a remake, but with a radically different style.
I mean, you could kind of make a case for JoJo, right? The Studio David JoJo.
Oh, yeah.
Being a remake of the 90s OVA that they tried to produce.
Oh, it's huge. Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they did that with a bunch of stuff. Obviously, just like talking about Trigun, they just did this 3D remake, which, is wildly different. But
yeah, that is really more in a remake kind of area as opposed to a
teardown.
Yeah, an HD overhaul. I guess.
Yes.
That's like, no, we're just gonna do Trigun new and different.
We're just gonna do it different.
Yeah, we're just gonna do it different.
Yeah.
That particular decision, I have no problem with. I like it when people do that.
I prefer it.
That's why I liked the FF7 remake, right? We're not remaking FF7. We are remaking FF7. We're
doing some weird ass shit with it.
Yeah. We're changing it. And I like that. I think that's cool.
I do like that as well. I think there's an interesting thing happening with the One Piece remake. I think it's very funny that One Piece, the quote unquote original run, is still going, and they've decided
it's still going, and we're gonna have a concurrent anime going.
We are having a concurrent reboot, which is wild, and it totally makes sense. The original One Piece anime started in
1998.
98. Yeah. Yep. That shit is fucking wild. So totally warranted. And I have to imagine it's impossible to make a One Piece reboot that strays too far from the story. I don't think people can stand to have that story retold. You know what I mean? You don't get to tear down that one.
I'm already hearing people calling it One Piece Brotherhood.
Two piece.
That's good. But that's like that is actually a valid criticism that people had of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, is that because the original series already covered the first half of the manga pretty accurately and in more detail, they kind of rushed through and cut out a whole lot from the stuff that already appeared in the original anime adaptation.
Yeah.
And so they're like, all right, we got to rush to get up to what hasn't been done yet, which I think some people are kind of afraid that One Piece is going to do, mostly because they've straight up said, the studios said, like, yeah, we're like adapting this. We're not doing like a full on remake page by page of the manga.
Yeah, they're going, hey, you want the like One Piece stuff? There you go. It's already there. You want One Piece live action? Look at that. There it is. You want One Piece, abridged? Here you go. We're making it right now. Any flavor of One Piece you want, you can have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. But like, why? I guess is my question.
Well,
why is this happening now?
I mean, I'm sure that there are real reasons out there that would take time and research and a little bit of knowledge to figure out, but I don't have any of those things. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tell you what I reckon about it. How does that sound?
Okay. What do you reckon?
I reckon that probably they're having trouble finding staying power in newer anime series, right?
Yeah.
We're already having like the big names in Shonen, in Jump, all kind of working towards an eventual end right now. And none of them have the longevity that a Dragon Ball or a One Piece had, right? And so studios are scrambling to try and figure out, like, what can we replace here? What can we replace Naruto with? What can we replace One Piece, Bleach with, that are going to be around for another 25, 30 years? because as much as people like Jujutsu Kaisen, the manga's ending, and the way they're adapting the anime, there's not 25 years of Jujutsu Kaisen to adapt, right?
Yeah, there might not be 1 year.
So I think they're panicking a little bit because their cash cows are getting dangerously close to drying up.
Okay.
That's what I reckon.
Yes.
And so they're trying to artificially propel these IPs into the future with these remakes.
I will say, obviously, My Hero Academia, dead and buried. It's gone. We're done, finally. We're free from the terror of My Hero Academia.
And as long as we're on, I'm just going to take a quick aside to say rip to Nagatoro. Pour one out for the real ones. That's over too.
Obviously, Demon Slayer is rounding third base as we speak. That is that is like careening towards the grave. And man, I still say I cannot wait because people are gonna hate. Oh, they're gonna hate the ending. They're gonna hate it. I'm so excited. Geez, what else? A lot of these isekais I feel like have the potential to go forever, though. That is kind of the big hole in your theory. You know, something like ReZero might not ever end. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. Well, that is something that I hadn't considered in my reckoning. So,
yeah, you can just keep doing those.
You can just keep. Well, I mean, we've talked about the theory of the infinite isekai before on this show.
Yes.
But yes, you can just keep doing a plot forever with those, especially if your premise is already based around time reset or time travel or dimension hopping, whatever you want, right?
Yep.
It's okay, we're done here, but what if he goes somewhere else?
What if he does something else?
So yeah, okay, maybe there's something there to consider, but I still don't think that it's gonna have that those particular flavors of isekai are going to have the same longevity that One Piece does. You know, I keep bringing that up because it's the obvious, the big name, the big elephant in the room. The fucking one of the longest running manga of all time. I don't want to say the longest running. I don't have the knowledge to back that up right.
Yeah, that's
now.
not true.
That's not true. But it's up there. It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there for sure. But you know, Berserk has been running longer than One Piece.
Well, Berserk ended. Sorry, people. It's over. It's Jover, people. Get over it.
Oh man. Okay. All right. You know what? Fine. Whatever. We will get another chapter of Berserk someday. Not today, not tomorrow, not next year, but someday. And you will get another episode of Anime Test. I'm trying to dismount here.
God damn it. You didn't even let me talk about my stuff. God damn it.
Oh, well, we went pretty long, so.
Son of a bitch. All right, fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to save these for next time.
Yeah, save it for next time. We'll get there. Don't worry.
I really do want to talk about both of these. God damn, I'm so pissed off at you right now. God damn it. All right, beautiful, handsome, tall, mysterious listeners. Thank you once again for bearing with us on this rambling fever dream of a journey we're on.
You're welcome.
Go out, do the good things that good little fans are supposed to do. Click on stuff, on things, on websites, repost, re-X us,
re-exit. Don't do that.
Blue sky us. What are we calling those?
Blue sky us. I just call them posts. I'm going back to posting. I think that's the most elegant solution.
Leave us mean YouTube comments. We like those.
Yeah, I'll take those.
Leave us comments on the TikTok. Follow us on there. We put out that stuff there.
Yeah.
I know some of you do it. And until next time, I guess all we can say is bye. God damn it. It's going to be a warm one out tonight.
You can't get there from here. Oh, you can't get there from here.
I can't get there from here.
Have to go around. Can't get there from here.
Yep, same as every day. No better, no worse. Oh, we don't go down that road.
Oh, we don't go down that road.
Oh, we don't go down that road.
We don't go down that road. Wow.
Wow.
Fucking fish people.